Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. And this is just a general share advice and not personal advice. And I welcome the one and only Mr. Wolf. Hi, Wolf. How you doing? Oh,
Yeah, good. Thank you very much.
oh,
I think a little bit better that day than yesterday, and some of the results. So to the last day of the reporting season, which is nice. I can maybe have a little bit of a breather tomorrow. But some smaller stocks that we follow released some very good results. So let's go through some of these stuff.
Well, let's go through first of all the dividend stock SXE. Still happy to hold that as a div, Wolf?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, everything that's dividend stock, we look at it a monthly, right? So we've got a long-term view on these things. We don't worry about too much fluctuation because at the end of the day, we are more interested in the dividends as long as that's holding. So if you look at that, nothing wrong with that. It's a hold.
All right.
DUR.
DUR. So again, recent hot stock, which I think looks good, doesn't it? It looks like could go higher.
Yeah, look, the thing with Duratec is it started to look expensive maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, without knowing what the results are going to be. Like, we thought they were going to be good, but actually the results are very, very good, and actually especially the bottom line, which surprised me to be honest, on the upside, which is good, which meant that now the stock looks cheap again, because the bottom line performance has been incredible, really. At the end of the day, when I look at the actual numbers and I extrapolate some assumptions out of that figures today, then I'm putting it back now on 12 times again. So which is, again, decent. So the question is, can they keep going with that? You know, the outlook they gave was very good for the full year. So as long as they can hit those numbers, hit those targets, this possibly, again, if you did take some profits, maybe it's another thing to have a look at it again if it stays like this by the end of the week.
Okay, now what about DUG? What did you make of that?
Yeah, look, transformational by the looks of things. Over the last maybe 3-4 months, right? They obviously look like they've turned the corner completely. The services division is the one that's been helping them enormously. This is in the energy space. Look, I don't follow the story super closely, but the numbers, when I see them, it's profitable company, a tech story, which is, again, very hard to find these days. And it will be rewarded most of the time. And obviously it's trading quite well. Look, probably still for me just a trade at this stage, but I'll leave that to you. I think there's probably for me right now some other stories that I'm more interested in.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Wolf. I mean, this is not a bad story. I could argue if you're in it, you're most probably holding it, but if you're going to trade it, yeah, maybe you just want to see a stock with a little bit more volume and maybe some a bit better price action.
Next one.
SRG.
Yep.
So this has been a beautiful looking trending chart for a while, Wolf, and contract win, I understand.
Yeah, it is. So they've been on a roll recently. You can see by the share price, and this is why you want to get onto companies that produce lots of new contracts and upgrades, because you're going to get a very similar chart most of the time. That's why you ride it. That's why you make some money and just, keep lifting the stop losses on this. So SRG now still looking pretty good for me overall. And, if you're looking at a dividend, a little bit of, growth with it, and not too expensive at 14 times, 6.5 yield, not bad still, right?
Yeah, very, very good. AV1 came out. How they doing? How's this little tech startup, Wolf? How are they cooking along?
I wish we could just fast forward, right, to when they started getting some of these bigger revenues coming in. It's still small revenues, growing, yes, but the bottom line, of course, is still, because they're in this early great growth phase, it's still loss making, which means the investors are just not interested at this stage, which is, it's not easy for a company like a little AV1 to attract investors out there. But they are sort of hitting the targets, and we just need some patience. The problem is, how much patience do investors have out there?
Yeah, we don't have as much patience here as I think the Americans do. The Americans are a little bit better than us, I think. Now, M7T, on the surface, not a bad announcement, just the wrong space at the moment. Tech getting sold off, Wolf.
Tech, unprofitable tech getting sold off, right? Because we mentioned yesterday that if we've got the interest rates going higher for longer, then again, the tech stocks are going to get probably hammered again, right? Or at least some weakness. We're seeing that at the moment. We've seen it over the last 2 or 3 weeks that some of these inflation numbers are not coming down as quick as everyone thought. And, some of these price indexes are looking quite strong, which means, unfortunately, we might be staying here stronger for longer on this inflation front, which is going to be affecting this space. So it's looking weaker. The numbers were actually quite good today. But, if, like I said yesterday, if you are sitting in some of these stories that are unprofitable in a tech space, take some profits and maybe put that money to the side, cash, or put it into some of the cheaper stories like your BRIs of the world, or, some of the other stuff that we mentioned that are value profitable and you can get a good dividend out of it.
TYR, it's been under takeover offer, sort of, it's, looking okay. Certainly, it doesn't look like it's going to trend up any higher anytime soon. I suppose this was maybe the best announcement we've had out today, which is DSC.
Yes.
It doesn't trade well, which is frustrating. And I kept saying to you, someone keeps selling this as soon as it, and I just worry that sometimes you get someone who decides to range trade the stock. They buy it they sell it at 24, 23, and they keep buying it at 20, and they go, "Oh, I may keep making money on this," and they keep doing it, and it drives.
Good on them because he could. Quite easily, right? But it's not ready for us because, of course, we're big holders in this. Today's results, Dave, this is one of the best, and the reason why it's so consistent. So the growth is there, right? Quarter on quarter, half on half, year on year, you're looking at 40, 50, 60% growth. You're looking at the companies looking at the bottom line. So it's looking after the bottom line, saying that, costs are very, very important to us. So we're going to make sure that we don't blow out. We are still cash flow positive. And again, they come up with that. They also gave you that outlook saying we are still going to be profitable EBITDA line, and we're going to look at the costs. So the outlook is for the same, right? For the next 12 months. This gives you so much confidence that these guys know what they're doing. But the most important thing, of course, is the growth. And it is producing some beautiful numbers, Dave, from me. ARPU is growing. The number of clients are growing. The number of products are growing. The cybersecurity space is just so important. So I don't think I can find a better story right now that it's actually now looking quite decent value-wise.
Okay, that's a big call. Now, I think obviously this is one of our stories. It's one of our growth stories, and if you're in it, definitely hold it. Wolf, not such good news for AMS. Again, audit issues. Is this the end of AMS?
Maybe. So you should have been out of this a long time ago. If you haven't, and you're trying to pick bottoms, you're going to get probably a bit of a slap, right? When they come out of this suspension. If they come out of this suspension, the problem is they've gone into suspension today. There's some auditing issues. When I hear that there's auditing issues, Dave, I straight away thinking the end is coming, right? Unfortunately. So, look. I hope that's not the case. But if you've got issues with auditing where some things don't add up or some things that's not quite look right, you've got a massive problem on your hands. Because if the books are cooked, so to speak, it's good night, Charlie.
Yeah. Okay. Again, really disappointing. A story that at one stage was interesting.
It shows that management, right, is just key. If you can't get the management, get this, play it right, this is what happens.
PLS, again, warning signs with lithium, big cross sale, Chinese getting out, Wolf. So yeah, you've got to, lithium is scary at the moment.
Heed the big money. What's happening, right? They are selling big portion of their holdings, so they are lessening the exposure to lithium, which probably suggests to you they're thinking that, they're cashing in pretty much to thinking that it's going to go lower. I mean, that's pretty much it. You wouldn't be selling if you think that things are going higher, would you? So yeah, just another little warning shot across the bow, so to speak. Take it as it comes.
Right, AGI was a good announcement, and you're still a hold on this.
Yeah, look, I like this story. Actually, this is a turnaround. This is probably one of my contrarian plays, the only actually contrarian plays I've got in the portfolio. The reason why I've got it's actually profitable, right? So I'm not buying something really crazy. Good numbers today. So yesterday, they've come out after market yesterday. Revenue growth was there on PCP. Profitable. Macquarie this morning came out. They really like it. They've raised the price target to 130 now from 125. And according to their numbers, Dave, it's trading on about 11 times FY23. So if they can hit those numbers, this is cheap. Turnaround story. And they're talking about the things are improving for them, right? In that outlook. So let's see how they go. And they've got, of course, a interesting management, Dave, that were really big boys in this space. They know what they're doing.
And lastly but not least, we are trending it at the moment, BXB, and good to see some really good broker upgrades. What, higher than $15, Wolf?
Yeah, 15.30, Dave. I mean, that's up there. That's like re-rating levels, right? And I've said it to you when we first put it on. This looks like it might get re-rated, finally get out of that sort of range trade that's been doing it for the last probably 5 years odd, right? So the next probably stage is going to, for me, should be trading between the 13 and 15. So probably 14 would be my price target from here.
Brilliant, Wolf. And again, good to see a sort of a stronger stock, Wolf, with
absolutely.
as a decent trade, definitely. On that note, Wolfie, I'd like to thank you very much. Always brilliant. Now we are live tonight.
Correct.
And you're going to be revealing more about your life, and we'll be with.
I think everyone knows everything already. I don't think I can reveal any more unless I just, maybe go naked.
And of course, we'll be Claude is back from his 1 week rest. So I look forward to having both of these two genius analysts tonight. On that note, thank you very much, and see you later, Wolfie. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.